Okay, guys, I'm here for the 9th review in the SummerSlam review series. This is SummerSlam 1997. Or it might be I think it's the 10th SummerSlam review. It took place, this is a fairly historic SummerSlam, actually. So it took place on October the 3rd, 1997 from the Continental Airlines Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This was the first WWE pay-per-view to take place in New Jersey in 9 years at that time. Or 8 years at that time. Because shortly after SummerSlam 89, New Jersey passed I believe it is an entertainment tax for any kind of entertainment or something to do with boxing and wrestling or something in the state, and Vince didn't want to pay it, so he just boycotted New Jersey for 8 years. And then their governor at this time, Christy Todd Whitman, overturned that, and it brought Vince McMahon back because he didn't have to pay the tax or something really like that. I don't know the whole story, but I know it's similar to that. So there are 7 matches on this card. We have a 35 maximum star rating. So our opening contest is a steel cage match. Mankind versus Hunter, Hearst, Helmsley. Not the best match these guys had. I think their match at Canadian Stampede is probably the best match they had with each other, at least when it was Mankind. They had a couple good matches when they were Hunter, Triple H, and Cactus Jack, but that's for later. This is a 3-star cage match. It's a true cage match, meaning you can only win by escape. No pinfall here. Mankind's at the top once, and he does a Jimmy Snuka by jumping off the top of the cage with an elbow onto Hunter, Hearst, Helmsley, or Triple H. And then eventually he escapes the cage while from the top, and he hits the floor right before China gets Triple H out of the floor. So, 3 stars. So, this show also has a couple things that really are a waste of time, such as they bring the governor of the state of New Jersey at that time, Christy Todd Whitman, out, and they present her with a replica WWE Championship for, as I said, doing away with that tax that would have taxed wrestling, which Vince didn't want to pay. Although I think some of the other wrestling companies didn't have a problem paying it because they didn't boycott New Jersey as far as I know. But again, I could be wrong. I don't know the statistics of this. I don't know how this law worked. I don't know what about it made the WWE unhappy. I just know that this tax was the reason that they stayed out in New Jersey for 8 years at that time. In fact, if anyone does know how that actually worked and why the WWE didn't want to do it, besides Vince probably just not wanting to pay it, let me know in the comments section, because I'd love to know that. So then we get Goldust versus Brian Pillman in a match that if Brian Pillman lost, he would wear a dress. This was to one-up all the other members of the Hart Foundation, who all had some weird stipulation in each of their matches. This would also be Brian Pillman's first. Brian Pillman wrestled at 3 WWE pay-per-views. This would be his second to last one he would wrestle at. This is it's not the best match. And if Pillman was actually healthier and didn't have his ankle problem, this probably could have been really good. But given the state that Pillman was in, this isn't the best match in the world. It's a 1-star match. Goldust wins and Marlena hits Pillman with her purse, which probably had a brick in it, and all that. This feud did continue at Ground Zero, which is Brian Pillman's last WWE pay-per-view appearance, in which Pillman won the service of Marlena for 30 days, and that was going to go to Marlena turning on Goldust. But then Brian Pillman's death happened, so they basically rewrote it, turned Goldust heel, and had him turn on Marlena, which was not the original plan, but Brian Pillman's death changed that. From what I know, anyway, from what I myself know. like I said, 1 star, not the greatest match in the world. Could have been better if Brian Pillman did not have that injury. So our next match, Legion of Doom versus the Godwins. 1.5 star tag match. The story behind this is basically when the Legion of Doom accidentally botched the Doomsday device on a Shotgun Saturday Night a few weeks before this. It had broke Henry Godwin's neck, so they turned it into a storyline here. Like I said, it's a below average. It's 1.5 star. We don't use it the tag team formula. But the problem with the Legion of Doom is they are not a team to be doing the traditional tag team formulas faces because, well, because of the selling issues they do. Not to mention Jim Ross makes a mistake on commentary when he says that this is the Legion of Doom's 4th SummerSlam. That's true, it is their 4th SummerSlam appearance, but it's only their 3rd SummerSlam match, as they had 2 prior ones of this, because they did not wrestle at the 1990 SummerSlam unless they were in a dark match, which I don't believe they were. They just showed up and helped the Hart Foundation win, so their record at SummerSlam is 3-0, and not what JR wanted to say. I'm only bringing that up just because it's an interesting little mistake, but Legion of Doom wins with a spike pile driver, which is storytelling and all that for the neck, but 1.5 stars. This is the last time that these two had a tag match as far as I know in the feud. I mean, I know that they're in a 4-way the next month for the tag titles at Ground Zero against each other involving the Headbangers, Owen and Bulldog too, but I don't know if they had any more tag matches of each other, just the 2 teams, so 1.5 stars. So then we get the WWE European Championship match, one of 3 championship matches on this show. It's the British Bulldog versus Ken Shamrock, where stipulations are here, obviously, if Shamrock wins, he wins the European Championship, but if the Bulldog doesn't win the title, he would eat dog food. So, yeah. This is a 1-star match. Bulldog, it ends by DQ. Bulldog gets a handful of dog food and rams it in Shamrock's face. Shamrock snaps, picks up the can of dog food, and hits Bulldog with it, earning the DQ. And then he basically chokes out Bulldog. And then he suplexes Pat Patterson, Gerald Briscoe, and I believe it is Mike Chioda. And then leaves. That's what I think why Ken Shamrock was so popular, is his character was like this. They need to make Dean Ambrose like this to really help his character more. Because if Dean Ambrose's character was like Ken Shamrock's, imagine more pops he'd be. He already is a character that basically you can do and have him do face-to-face and look believable. But if he had the Ken Shamrock motif where he goes crazy after a loss or just snaps during a match and does something that costs him, I think it would add to his character. And Ambrose is the best guy to do the whole kind of Ken Shamrock dynamic with, in my opinion. 1 star. So then we get an 8-man tag match. The Disciples of Apocalypse, otherwise known as the DOA. At this time, it's Crush, Chain, Skull, and 8-Ball. And they're taking on Los Boricuas, which is Savio Vega's group after Savio was kicked out of the nation. It's Savio Vega, Miguel Perez Jr., Jose Estrada Jr., and some guy whose name was Jesus. I don't know what his last name was. I just know 3 of them. Well, I know all their names. I just don't know what Jesus' last name was. I know it's not the Jesus that showed up with Carlito 7 years later. But, anyway, this is a half-star 8-man tag. The Nation eventually come down. Ahmed Johnson and does the Pearl River Plunge on chains on the floor, and then which allows one of the Boricuas to hit an elbow and get the win. So then we come to the 2 top matches of this show. WWE Intercontinental Championship match. Owen Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, in which Austin said that if he did not win the Intercontinental title, he would basically kiss Owen Hart's backside. This is a 4-star match, even with a botched roll-up. But it's understandable why that roll-up was botched. And this is a very famous match because everyone knows what it's famous for, and it's a very famous botched pile driver by Owen Hart. That I'm sure Owen did not mean to botch, but it's just the way it works. And then Austin does what is the worst roll-up in the world to actually beat Owen Hart, who was being professional, going with the booked finish. Now this was later incorporated into a storyline leading into Survivor Series. And this is going to sound cold, but if you really think about it, this neck injury was the best thing to happen to Steve Austin, because since they had stripped him of the IC title, he became more of a talker, and that's when he started the anti-authority thing, because right after this is when he started stunning anybody in authority for pretty much no reason, just because he could. And it's pretty much what led into the McMahon-Austin rivalry in 98 and 99 was due to a lot of this. So it actually is the best thing to happen to Steve Austin in his WWE career, as cold as it sounds. Just like I think I mentioned in my WrestleMania 28 review that Daniel Bryan losing the World Championship in that 18-second squash match at WrestleMania 28 was the best thing to happen to him, because it got the yes chant started against the no chant and all that stuff. So it's kind of that kind of dynamic here. 4 stars. So then we get the WWE Championship match. Undertaker versus Bret the Hitman Hart with special referee Shawn Michaels. Stipulations, again, in this match. If Bret Hart does not win the WWE Championship, then he would not be allowed to wrestle anywhere in the United States ever again. And if Shawn Michaels showed favoritism to The Undertaker, he would be banned from wrestling in the United States for the rest of his wrestling career. Yeah, this is a 4-star match. Finish eventually comes when when Bret Hart spits on Michaels, who's got a chair, and Michaels goes to hit Bret with the chair, but Bret moves and Michaels hits Taker. Bret then pins Taker, and realizing he has to make the cover or be barred from wrestling in the U.S., he makes the 3. This led to Michaels and Taker's rivalry that went through Ground Zero and Bad Blood with the first ever Hell in a Cell match. So, and the famous casket match from Royal Rumble 1998. So this is a historic match in a lot of ways too. Plus, it was Bret Hart's final WWE Championship, which goes to the theory that maybe Bret Hart was in on the Montreal incident in the first place. Because why would you give the championship to a guy you know is leaving in 3 months' time, approximately? So 4 stars. So this show gets a 15 out of 35, which is a C-. The fact is that there's 3 good matches here. The opening cage match and then the 2 top matches. Because, I mean, it's got 2 4-stars and a 3-star event, but the rest of the card isn't all that great. And it really brings this show down. If they would have taken out those 2 time-wasting segments, because I forgot to mention the whole $1 million casket giveaway deal that they did, in which 2 guys, they flew to New Jersey, and then the people on the phone got 4 chances. Each got a chance to win $1 million locked in a casket. That, should I mention, was $1 million in $1 bills. Oh yes, Vince McMahon will give away $1 million, but it's going to be in a dollar bill. Because I didn't see any other bigger denomination in this casket when it opened. And I never paid attention to these dumb contests, because why? WWE ain't going to give you no $1 million. I mean, seriously, during McMahon $1 Million Mania, he actually legitimately gave away $1 once. $1. What would have been the point about that? But that's for another time. If those 2 segments were gone, they could have given some of these other matches more time and possibly made this card better. This is probably the most historic SummerSlam of the pre-Attitude Era, because that's what this is. It's right on the doorstep of the Attitude Era, but it's the pre-Attitude Era. So it probably is the most historic one. But due to a lot of the matches here not being that good, as the best one of the ones that are not the 3 ones that, you know, other than the 3 and 2 4-star matches, the best match on here is a 1.5 stars. So that really brings this show down. So this will be in the SummerSlam Review Series playlist. Next up is SummerSlam 1998, which is the 11th SummerSlam, but the 10th anniversary of the show. So that'll be uploaded tomorrow, because I actually am going to have time to watch it tomorrow without probably having to break it up into 2 sittings. So that'll be, so yeah, if you like the video, like button is down there, subscribe button is down there. And if you watch my Power Ranger Dino Charge reviews, they will be back this Saturday, because Dino Charge returns from its hiatus on Saturday. So if you like the video, like button is down there, subscribe button is down there, and thank you for watching. Bye.